Thank you for all your wonderful comments about the picture I put up yesterday. The one I put up yesterday was this one, it's my bedroom back in the early 1970s in London. And I added my sort of like a giant teddy bear in the bed. So obviously I had early ideas of becoming an illustrator of children's books. But then shortly after this one, I started to work in black and white, just to understand it really. This is a study, so it's the same sort of perspective. It's almost like I'm sitting in the same room. But this was done entirely in black and white with a rotring pen. I just wanted to explore what effects you could get. It's a kind of a mix of pointillism and cross-hatching. And really it's a study in trying to use those techniques for different materials, different surfaces. So they're from this metal here and glass and fabrics and wood, stone. I'll go in close. I'll try and zoom in and have a look around inside the picture so you can see some of the pen work that it's very early work, but it sort of shows you what I was trying to achieve. And the pointillism is when you're just putting the pen down in little dabs. It's hard to do with modern pens like biros, because with a biro you've got to stroke the pen so that the ball in the tip turns and drops ink out. So you really need a pen, a standard classic pen, to be able to drop single dots of black ink, such as particularly on the stone here. These are just single splodges of ink, as you can see. And then sometimes there's some cross-hatching going in to give you a sense of the the perspectives here on the books there, up on the glass. Glass tended to need to be cross-hatching. I felt that's what gave you some more glass up here on a bell jar lost it there. Yeah, I use cross-hatching more than pointillism, but then use pointillism on the owl that's inside it. So all these different textures we've got here: the stone, there's a metal pot, leather boots, metal pots there, fire. I always find fire interesting. You're working in reverse, right? That's your light source. And to get the sense of the heat of the fire, I figured out that you've got to do intense black in front of it with some coals. Otherwise, you've just got a white space. So it needs to be the comparison of it, and then putting a very dark area of stone in front of it. This takes a long time, I have to be honest, to be able to draw like this. I think this picture, this is trying to work out how to use pointillism for fabrics. Just putting small objects in there to see how much I could push the boundaries on what I could do with detail. I'll zoom back out now so that you can see the whole thing again. So it's interesting with this, it's very early work. I was probably I was probably just turned 20, I think it was 73. I was born in 53, so it's 20. I was a medical student, and this was how I kept myself sane when I was studying. So I always wanted to do art, but moved into science, and then eventually moved back into art again. So this is as I say, pointillism and cross-hatching, and a very early study as I was learning the technique. There was no YouTube, of course, back then. You really used to go. I used to go to the Charing Cross Road second-hand bookstores and buy old books and look at the lithographs and etchings, and if I could afford to buy one, bring it home, and just get in there with a microscope and figure out how the hell they did it. Anyway, thank you. I hope you enjoyed that.